12-0 was the score yesterday in the Blue Jays versus the, don't call them Oakland, the A's. Don't call them the
Oh,
Sacramento A's, just the free floating A's. And the Blue Jays, in typical fashion, runners in scoring position merchants, right? Just a story as old as time here.
hmm.
Man, it felt like I was watching a different team. At a point, I was like, this is Toronto playing Oakland, correct? Not Oakland, the A's. Home runs.
Okay. Ernie Clement hits a home run to a kid. He drops it. Vladdy hits one to the same fucking kid. He catches it. That was amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing. And good for the kid. What a recovery. Also, old Ernesto, that little shuffle step celebration he did in the midst of his home run. Did that swagger save the season? Tell me, Adam. Are like it showed a little bit of grandiose that you would never see out of Ernie Clement, like a grandiose gesture, a celebration that normally is very, I don't know what the word is, humble.
Look, when I was a kid, I grew up with two major sports networks in Canada. We had Sportsnet and we had TSN. Now it's all Sportsnet and the channel that covers the CFL.
Yeah.
TSN had something they like to call the TSN turning point. And
Hmm.
that Ernie shuffle, the TSN turning
It
point on our
it did.
season.
It did.
Indeed.
It's a great reference for old men everywhere, the TSN turning point. I love it. And that's
There you
exactly
go.
what it felt like, man. To see this team show a little bit of swagger was a really nice change of pace. And I mean, why would they show swagger the last series? They scored 4 runs against the Texas Rangers, somehow still frickin' won that series. I have no idea how they pulled that out. And we're never going to see another series like that where they score 4 runs and take the whole thing. I mean, I the funny thing is even the game they lost 2-0, they probably should have won. So
Yeah, I mean,
this team's back to 500. One step forward, one step back. And May 30th. So here we are. This is the truth, right? The season starts now. Going into June, would be lovely to see them take another game or two against the A's here at home. I think 3 of 4 is what should be the goal. I mean, sweep them if you want, boys. I'm all for it. Lots to talk about today, though. We are going to break down the rest of this Jays and Athletics series. 3 studs and a dud. We will go over the last week in Blue Jays baseball and let you know who was succeeding and who the big dud was. Orelvis Martinez. It was interesting. I was a guest on Blue Jays Avenue podcast, and they had some interesting thoughts on Orelvis Martinez and when he's going to be brought up. They're not big Michael Stefanik fans. So I figured we'd break in a little bit to that as to you see it online quite a bit, Adam. On Twitter, people are like, why is Stefanik playing second base? Why would we not bring up Orelvis Martinez to do it? He's at least a prospect that we're trying to develop. So I do have some thoughts on that. We are going to get into player development and the farm system in general. Keith Lodges put out of The Athletic his new top 50 prospects ranking. 2 Blue Jays are in the top 50, and that is the first time that this has happened in, seriously, it might be since Nate Pearson was,
oof.
yeah, yeah. So dark times. It's about time we're seeing this farm system start to pull out of the nosedive that they were in. This lineup and how to fix it. Obviously, yesterday, if we can replicate that, it's great. But this Anthony Santander problem continues to raise concerns. I mean,
Yeah.
We are coming into June here, and this man has just not been able to seem to put it together. And then we'll also get into some of the injuries and updates going on with this team. So let's start with three studs and a dud. An interesting week of baseball where this team continues to sweep and then get swept. They went into Texas and won the series on 4 runs. Started yesterday's series or this series off with the A's right yesterday, scoring 12 runs. How did you break this down, Adam?
It was an interesting week in that regard. We're going to start with the dud number three. A 438 batting average. You know, I'm a fan of batting average.
Mm-hmm.
A 938 OPS in 6 games. Alejandro Kirk. Um, I've been so impressed by Alejandro Kirk this season.
Man, he has been doing the little things so well. I know that there was a moment in game 3 of that Texas series where he faked out, or sorry, it was yesterday's series opener against the A's, where Langelier, I think it's Langelier, the catcher for the A's, was at the
I've
plate.
never heard it with a soft G before.
Okay,
I've only ever heard it as Langolier.
maybe it is Langelier, and I'm pronouncing it too French.
I'm impressed. Hey, you went for it. It might be.
If if there's going to be anyone to mispronounce a baseball player's name, I'm just glad to be consistent with
You
being
know
that
what?
guy.
At least you're mispronouncing the white names too.
And that's all I'm trying to do is just be like so everyone is like, "Oh, what an idiot" across the board. Not this man has put zero effort into pronouncing non-white names properly, which I have put Shota Imanaga. All right, there we go. Just throwing
Hey,
that out there. Don't.
nice.
Yes. Okay, so Langolier, however you want to say it.
Lozengelier. Yeah, I like it.
Langolier or Langolier. Uh,
All right.
anyways, he was at the plate and there were 2 strikes. Barrios had just thrown 2 off-speed pitches in a row, and Kirky stands up and makes it look like a high fastball's coming. And you could tell he just like he was ready for that fastball, and it froze him as Barrios threw another off-speed pitch right down the middle for strike 3. And I was just like, man, what an intelligent move by Kirky. Like just just in the batter's peripheral, like you know that Langolier isn't paying too much attention. He's focused on Barrios and the next pitch, but it's all a game, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to pick up little things. There's no way he didn't see Kirky stand up like there's going to be a high fastball coming in. It was just little things like that. He has become such a good catcher, and to watch him doing what he's doing at the plate too, I mean, makes that extension look all that much better.
I've been blown away by how he is held up, how his body is held up.
Hmm.
That was, I think, for both of us, our biggest concern with the departure of Jansen. He's our full-time guy. Can his body hold up to the higher workload? All these questions. Jays are currently 56 games into the season, about a third of the way, and Kirky's played in 45 of them.
Hmm.
So he's on pace for about 130-ish games for the Jays.
In a time in baseball, Adam, when that's not a thing. Like
That's
I
the
don't.
thing, is let alone for Kirk, for any catchers, 130 games is a lot.
Hmm.
Um, it's a lot. It's not a career, or it wouldn't be a career high for games played. I'm just looking at his career numbers. In 2022, he did play 139 games for the Jays.
A lot of that
2023,
was DHing though.
yeah, you're stepping on my punchline,
Sorry.
but yeah, that's all right. Um, 123 the year after. But yeah, if we look by how many games did he catch, so in that 130 whatever, 139 game season, only 78 as a catcher, 51 times as a DH.
Mm-hmm.
This season, 44 games as a catcher, one as a DH.
Wow.
So
I mean,
that's
what Kirky is doing has been absolutely incredible, both behind the dish and managing this pitching staff and at the
yeah.
plate. I mean, he really has shown flashes of that 2022 Silver Slugger that we watched him do. I am, again, you kind of summed it up here. I am just so impressed with how he's held up.
Take a take a stab at what his numbers look like in May.
900 OPS.
854.
Yeah. Yeah. I
A,
knew it was
th-
exceptional. I knew it was
a,
very, very good.
a 371 batting average in May.
Yeah. No,
So
he is
he's gotten stronger as the years gone on. So it's I mean, we'll see how he does through June, July, August,
mhm.
but very encouraged by Alejandro Kirk. So
So
he's stud number three.
that's stud number three, and I will ask this to you, the grounds crew, and I mean this is directed at you, Adam. So feel free to pipe up
I'll
on what you
answer.
think here. But how much Kirk is playing is it concerning to you in the long term? And please, everyone, grounds crew, drop your comments below. We will get to this in mailbag on Tuesday. I do want to dive in a little bit if there is an overworked factor here, and that if maybe the Jays should be looking at playing Tyler Heineman a little bit more, who is coming off of the concussion protocol IL shortly here.
Kirky is 26 right now.
Mm-hmm. Ride him.
Ride him.
I like it.
We just paid him.
Yeah.
If you can't ride him when he's 26 and playing well,
Mm-hmm.
when can you?
No, you're
And
right.
So, um, yeah, he's the catcher we're building our team around. We put our money where our mouth is on that front, and yeah, so it's time to ride,
Mm-hmm.
ride, daddy, ride, as they say. So that's your stud number two, stud number three this week. Stud number two, bounce back week for the kid in the bullpen. Hoffman.
Oh,
It's pretty simple. Hoffman had two appearances, two saves, gave up 0 base hits.
mm-hmm.
He's going to be hot and cold all year long, but this week was as good as it gets. Look, you mentioned it. It was two saves that came against the Rangers. We scored 4 runs the whole series, and we
Yeah.
won the series. You do that on the back of great starting pitching and lockdown bullpen. And Jeff Hoffman, we didn't give him any wiggle room, and he didn't need it this week. So,
And it's nice to see him bounce back. He's now at 12 saves on the year and
true.
has steadied a very rocky footing that he was on there just a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, really good news
Indeed.
for the Blue Jays and the bullpen in general.
Indeed. Stud number one this week, good old Gary Gossman.
Yes.
Um, Pitched
Man.
dominantly in that Rangers series, gave us 8 solid innings, 6 strikeouts, and no walks. Um, yeah, Gossman has been the ace of this rotation the last few weeks.
He has. He has. Old Gary Gause. Seriously, Kevin Gausman has stepped up in a way that this organization needed him to. And honestly, he's filling a void that was pretty concerning in
Mm-hmm.
April, which is a guy at the top end of this rotation, a stopper, if you will, a guy who takes the ball when this team is slumping and he guts out a win. And that is exactly what Gary / Kevin Gausman has done. And seeing him at the top of that stud list, can't argue that.
So May 15th, he had a rough outing, gave up 3 home runs, 6 earned runs, through 5 innings. Since then, 2 starts, 7 innings with 0 earned runs, and then 8 innings with 1 earned run. It's been spectacular the way he's bounced back. So maybe he's locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's had that, real good hard look in the mirror and recognize that he's got to be better, and he has been. So Gossman has been great. It's good to see. There you go. Honorable mention this week. There was 2 close calls. Honorable mention to Vladdy this week. Really good numbers. Did hit 2 home runs to go along with his 280 batting average. This is my ideal Vlad week.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 home runs a week, that puts him on a 50 home run pace.
Yeah.
A 280 average, that's fine. I don't need him to hit 340. I need him to hit 280 with a couple dingers. That's what I want out of Vlad. 4 walks versus 1 strikeout and an OPS of 899. Like, is that too much to ask for? Like, oh no, but like seriously, I don't need him to hit an OPS over 1,000 every year.
No.
But I would like 899 to be the floor.
Yeah.
For $500 million, I don't think that's too much.
Other honorable mention. We showing any love?
Bowden Francis.
Okay.
Was gonna give a tip of the cap to Bowden. He bounced back too.
Yeah.
He's had a rough stretch. But Bowden Francis this week did go 5 innings, 0 earned runs, 6 Ks and 1 walk. So it was great. I don't expect every week to be this good. 5 innings, very solid.
Now, I'm not looking at numbers. This is a total eyes only thing, but I want to give a little tip of the hat to Bo Bichette as well, who has also hit 2 dingers.
Including the big one.
That pinch hit walk off, like, come on, hook it to my veins. That was absolutely incredible. That was a big boy moment. And then yesterday, same thing. He's starting to find his power swing. You gotta love to see that. Can Bo Bichette continue to swing for the fences? It sure would help the top of this lineup, especially with Anthony Santander just losing his nickname. No longer Tony Taters until Taters start growing again, right? Like, where are the taters? Right now, he's just Tony.
It's just Tony, peas and carrots that nobody wants to eat.
Tony and a lot of veggies, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing holding Bo back this week was the batting average of 167. Was just a little bit disappointing. But yes, 2 home runs for Vlad this week. Nice to see. Vladdy now leads the team with 8 home runs with Dalton Varsho. Bo Bichette, 6 home runs.
Yeah.
On the season. So,
hey,
I don't know.
If this was April, all of these numbers would be very impressive.
Yes. 8 home runs through April is nothing to sneeze at. Yeah. Indeed. Dud this week, you mentioned him. Tony Taters.
Mm-hmm.
It's another bad week.
Yeah.
I don't really know what else to say there. A 105 batting average.
No dingers.
No damage.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was just bad. Pure bad.
You know what's really frustrating is we all, as baseball fans, know this is going to turn. This is not Anthony Santander. This is not the man we're going to need to deal with for 4.5 more years. It just isn't. It just isn't. But holy shit, could we ever use a turning of the tides here? Like, my God, man. This dude has to start getting it together because it is a big reason why this is a 500 team. Like, if Anthony Santander was doing what he was supposed to do and providing that damage to the middle of this order, I think that this team would be well above 500. But here we are.
Yeah. I read this week the Angels cut Tim Anderson. Remember Tim Anderson? How good he was with the White Sox?
Yeah.
I was looking at Tim Anderson's numbers. I was like, oh, they're not much worse than Santander. Now, the $1 million contract is easier to cut ties with than
Yeah.
the commitment we have with Santander, but it
Also,
is
Tim Anderson has struggled for probably 2 seasons now, so there's a little bit more reason
well,
to believe he might be done.
the funny thing with Tim Anderson, so shortstop, formerly with the Angels, um, but the numbers on him have like in my head were so good,
Hmm.
and then I don't know, just looking at his numbers in real life, I'm like, oh, they're actually not even that good. Like he had a good a really good season during COVID. And then otherwise his best season was the 2019 season, which is
And we ignore those.
an asterisk.
Yeah.
Um it's just yeah, crazy how much he is not the guy I thought he was.
Yeah.
He was a guy that I like wanted the Jays to go after.
Yeah, I was fine with
Like
a
when
risk reward of going after Tim Anderson,
so
and yeah, I guess
I'm
dodged a
sure the
bullet.
Yankees will sign him and he'll be fine. And
Yeah.
it is what it is. Dishonorable mention this week, Chris Bassett.
Yeah.
It was just
Not as crisp as he has been, that's for sure.
not as crisp as he's been. So it was yeah, tough week for Bassett. All in all, still a good season from the Bass man. But yeah, that's your studs and a dud this week.
Moving on to what's going on at second base right now. Michael Stefanik obviously has been the bench second baseman for this team over the last week or so. He's been getting quite a bit of playing time too, and I know that there is a portion of the fan base that is truly confused by this, frustrated, some even angry. Like I said, I was a guest on Blue Jays Avenue podcast a couple of days ago, and Rob and Rocky, two really good guys. If you get a chance to check out the podcast, do so. They were one of the frustrated folks in the fan base with Michael Stefanik being the guy. And their big thing is, why are we not seeing what Orelvis Martinez has? Why is Martinez not up as one of this organization's top prospects? And at the time, I didn't have enough, um, I guess, time to truly let this ruminate in the old noggin and kind of come up with a conclusion of my own, but I have now. And after looking into Orelvis Martinez, so there's a few things I want to talk about with Orelvis. Number one, I'm still very disappointed in what a horrible teammate he was last year, letting down the organization when they truly needed him by cheating and doing PEDs, lying about it, which I am well aware in most cases. I know this is from the mouth of David Sampson, former MLB executive, that for the most part, these kids are just following the instructions of their agents. Their agents tell them, say this, do this, deny that, even though the baseball organizations, right? So, like, the Blue Jays probably would have preferred for him to just eat it, right? For him to just be like, I'm
Sure.
sorry, I screwed up, I'm 22, blah, 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 instead of giving some long winded frickin' story about how he's trying to get his girlfriend pregnant, right? Like, anyways, all of this to say, I'm not the hugest fan of Orelvis Martinez right now, and I am full of forgiveness. If he truly can, if he can be a stud and contribute to this team, you know what? Everyone makes mistakes, and maybe we can turn the corner on this. I will say this: I feel like he has used up his benefit of the doubts. I want to see Orelvis Martinez doing so well that the call up is undeniable. I think his opportunities should be limited to his performance at this point. I think his prospect hype and all of that, he burned the goodwill that was there. And I think he should just be viewed as Damiano Parmigiani. And I love Damiano. I'm not saying that is as slander, but it should just be like, you know what? It's Riley Terada. It's a guy now, a guy who the only way you get called up is if you excel at where you are right now. So, all this to say, Orelvis Martinez is not excelling where he is right now. This is a man with a 673 OPS in AAA after 150 at bats. He has 5 home runs. He's hitting 200 on the season
Yep.
against AAA pitching. He has 16 RBIs and has been hitting much closer to the bottom of the order than the top of the order. And we're almost in June right now. I'm not saying this is because he was never talented and that the PEDs is what made him good, but you do need to take that into consideration.
Mhm.
And maybe giving him an opportunity, even though Michael Stefanik is not a prospect, maybe you make him earn it at this point. I don't know how you feel about this, Adam. I know he's still
Yeah.
20. He's 23. I know how much power he has in his bat. Am
Yeah,
I
I
being
mean,
bitter?
no, like I'm with you. The defense is also like dog shit
It really is.
out of Martinez. So I don't know what the how you prorate numbers in AAA to the major leagues. Like if you just multiply by 0.75 as you upgrade your pitching. I don't know what it is. But a 201 batting average and a 20 home run pace, like you better be platinum glove at a premier position
Mm-hmm.
if those are the numbers you're bringing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Varsho, he can hit 195 and a handful of dingers because, okay, he's like the best center field in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You're willing to overlook it. Andres Jimenez, despite the hot start, not the best offensive weapon, but you go, he is lockdown defense.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No,
I,
I'm
I
with
don't
you.
need to see Orelvis come up and hit a buck 65, fall into a home run or two, and then give up 4 fielding errors in that same week. Like I
Like,
just don't need to see that.
if we want to talk call ups, and listen, I know that right now the outfield is definitely crowded. And Jonathan Clase has looked actually really good with this team in
Great
the
week.
limited opportunities that he's been given. But I will say this, Alan Roden, who made the team out of spring training, was sent down early May. Since he has been in Buffalo, these are these are Alan Roden's numbers. He has an OPS of 1029. He has 3 dingers, 12 RBIs. He's hitting 361 with 3 stolen bases. This kid gets on base. He's got speed, he's got smarts, and if there's anyone who should be given another opportunity with the Blue Jays, I think it is Alan Roden over Orelvis Martinez 100% of the time.
By a mile. Yeah.
And again, I'm well aware of the outfield of it all, right? Like I'm well
Yep.
aware that there is more room right now in the infield than there is in the outfield. So let's look at Riley Terada right now with the Buffalo Bisons. He's got an OPS of almost 850. He's got 6 home runs. He's hitting 266, and he's got 6 stolen bases. So there are options
Mm-hmm.
and valid options. I know that Mark Shapiro was asked about Riley Terada by Ben Nicholson Smith, which I like to take a little bit of credit here for even opening Ben's eyes to Riley Terada, because after BNS was on Baseball Town in Dunedin with him, he came up to me afterwards. He was like, "Man, I didn't know Terada had such a huge year in AAA last year. Like you were talking about his numbers, and he's like, I started Googling it right there because I was like, this can't be the case. He's like, this kid actually has been very, very good. I'm like, yeah. So BNS asked Shapiro about Terada, and Shapiro said, Terada's ready. He's like, when there's a spot, like we're not going to rush him or anything, but if there's an opportunity that arises, Terrada's close to the top of the list for the infield to get that call up. So, grounds crew, go ahead and drop your comments here. How do you feel about the Orelvis Martinez stuff? Would you like, and there is a totally valid argument for bringing Orelvis up and seeing what he's got. But also, I don't know if bringing him up cold, struggling in AAA is truly doing what's best for him player development wise, anyways. Even if Michael Stefanik is just a placeholder for the most part.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The shine has really
Mm-hmm.
gone on Orelvis, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer the 19-year-old leading AA in home runs,
Mm-hmm.
you know? He's the 23-year-old
With
struggling at
with a
AAA.
with a PED suspension. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Now, all of this is bad news when it comes to the farm system, except for the fact that for the first time in what feels like a decade, the Blue Jays are looking more and more like they know how to develop players. Who frickin' knew? I know that this has been the biggest complaint I've had with this front office is that they constantly are overpaying for players that they should be able to develop within, especially glove first guys. And I think that this is why the payroll is so bloated. They're fifth in Major League Baseball in payroll right now. They're just under the second luxury tax. But the good news is that Keith Law of The Athletic just put out his top 50 prospects. And in at number, I think it was 32. So forgive me if I'm off by a few numbers here. This is behind a paywall. So it was provided to me. And then I had the one chance to read it. So I read it all. And now I went back to double check and it's paywall again. And I'm like, okay, well. So from memory, I think Arjun Namala is coming in at 34. If it's 32 or 36, my apologies. But anyways, he's a top 40 guy. Trey Savage in at number 47. Trey Savage just was called up to the high A Vancouver Canadians. And so was Cal Stephan. Steven, I should say. Cal Steven is another guy that keep your eyes on. Arjun Namala probably going to get the call up to double A before the end of, I guess before the end of June, but maybe into July. I think he will finish the season in New Hampshire. And again, 19 years old for Arjun Namala, and every scout in baseball is touting how this kid looks legit with the bat. They're like, the power is so effortless that once he fills out a little bit, he could be hitting 30 bombs a year at shortstop regularly, which is, hey, can't get better than that. Trey
yep.
Savage, 23 years old. I mean, obviously a little bit older than the rest of the people at high A, but he has been dominating there, and he'll probably get the call up to double A as well at some point this season. You got to love what's happening with this Blue Jays farm system, and we're starting to see some young, highly touted guys at those lower levels, which is something that the Blue Jays have lacked for a long time. I mean, even last year when we were looking at the farm system that was in, I think it was ranked 27th, and that was after the trade deadline. It was all guys that were pushing AAA level, right? They were we called them the Buffalo Blue Jays for September for the most part. So it is really good to see some young talent being developed. That was always an area where I felt like Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins just weren't getting it done. And obviously, many of you will be commenting. You're on the keyboard right now being like, we got to see it first. I'm with you. I'm with you. Would love to see this happen. We get excited about guys like Nate Pearson, and then it just never really comes to fruition. So obviously, there's still a lot of development to go on here. But the fact that they have top prospects in the top 50 prospect guys, if nothing else, they finally have value on the trade market. Like they finally could put a package together if they needed to, which is something you couldn't have said over the last few years, where you would talk about, oh, the Blue Jays are sniffing around Juan Soto with the Yankees, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, of course, the Yankees were able to get him. They had the better package.
Yeah.
So it's just nice to see the Blue Jays have that as a weapon.
Little something for sure.
Yeah. All
But
right.
neither of us think old Arjun Amal is going anywhere, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, we've talked about this. There's a lot of reasons why. And number one, it's rare that you get a guy of that talent at 19 who has that kind
Mm-hmm.
of effortless power, who also looks like he's going to stick at shortstop. Number two, if you just get into the demographics of the Toronto Blue Jays, there are a lot of Indian people around the GTA. And Arjun Namala would be the first person of Indian descent to play Major League Baseball. And if you're looking at just the dollars and cents of getting a group of people into baseball in Canada, oh man, Rogers is salivating at the
Yeah,
idea of getting the millions and millions of Indian folks, Indian Canadians on board with the Blue Jays.
it's true.
So, I mean, who knows? You never know like what scenario could pop up, or maybe Paul Skeens is available for that. I mean, I don't know what it would take to
Yeah.
make Rogers change their tune there, but anyways, moving on to the Anthony Santander of it all. How do you get this man going? I really do feel like moving him down in the lineup might be the answer, but also the whole reason you brought him in was to have him in the heart of the lineup. How do you lengthen this lineup, Adam, with the pieces you currently have? Here's a Rubik's Cube for all you grounds crew members. Let me know. Like, how do you elongate this lineup? How do you make this lineup more fierce with the same pieces? And I do have a few ideas, right? I know Jonathan Clase has been absolutely incredible. Do you expose him a little more? Like, listen, he's done very well, but they have really kind of made sure that that lefty bat is in there in the right scenarios against the right splits, have the right information. They've limited his playing time, even when he's hot. They'll sit him on the bench after a 3-for-4 game. I haven't seen the lineup for today's, but literally, Clase was incredible again yesterday at the bottom of the lineup. This is a dude with outside Miles Straw, the most speed on this team. Do you consider putting a 22-year-old? Actually, I think he just turned 23. Nonetheless, he did. May 6th, I think it was. So he's 23 now. Do you put a 23-year-old in the leadoff spot and see how he does? I mean, with Bo Bichette starting to hit some power, it would sure be nice to have him hitting too. Vlad is more comfortable in the 3 hole, even though it's infuriating because you want to see him get as many at bats as possible in the 2 spot. But it's a mental block, in my opinion. And I do like that they were kind of forcing the issue a bit, but looks like he's. I all of this to say, I'm saying a lot of words to say nothing. But what do you think, Adam? Like, how do you fix the Tony Taters problem, and how do you make this lineup more formidable and longer with what you've got?
This isn't going to be a popular decision, but
Tell me you're just
it's
keep running it out there.
now the opposite. I'm saying shut him down for a couple weeks.
Mm,
He said he's not quite healthy. He's got some shoulder and hip
yeah.
issues. I don't know. It's you're either I'm either shutting him down so he can get healthy, like whatever that nagging little pain is. Let's get that cleared up. Give him some extra rest.
Mhm.
Beyond that, he's not contributing enough. Like call
No,
up Alan Roden. We just talked about Alan
truly.
Roden.
Yeah.
Bring him back up, man. Give Alan. I'd rather see Alan Roden hitting in the whatever spot then whatever the fuck Anthony Santander's doing.
And you know what? It's not insane to think that Anthony Santander's struggles is injury related, right? New
Yeah.
team, trying to contribute, feels the pressure of the new contract, even though he's laboring and is struggling with his hip and his bottom half and the swing and everything. He's
Mhm.
trying to fight through it for the betterment of the team. But truly it's not bettering the team, right? And maybe
No,
there is a sit him down and see how he's truly feeling and put him on that 10-day IL. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer is here, but I think
that's
that
where
they
I'm at.
are at a point where they've got to do something, right? And maybe this,
He's a black hole in our
yeah,
lineup right
yeah,
now. Like it's just
yeah.
the home run totals look better than they are
Mm-hmm.
because nobody else has been good either in that regard. Like
Mm-hmm.
Varsho has been, sure, given the fact that he's played a third of the games,
Yeah.
whatever, right? But when you just go to like bluejaystats.com
Mm-hmm.
and you sort by home run numbers, and it's like Vladdy 8, Varsho 8, Bichette and Santander was 6. You go, well, he's 6 or he's third on the team in home runs. So even if the batting average isn't there, he's third
Yeah.
on the team in home runs. You go, yeah, but nobody's good. Like Shohei's got 20 home runs.
Yeah.
Like that's where we should be at. Vladdy should be at 11, 12, 13 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not Santander should be at 10, 11, 12 home runs, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Um, so no, the batting average is bad. He's striking out a lot, and the power's not there. Like 6
Mm-hmm.
home runs, 2 months. Slow starts be damned.
Yeah.
He's been not contributing anything. For a DH, like for a primary DH, he's contributing nothing to this team
June
right now.
1st is Sunday.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
the
it's
one
not
third mark.
fucking early anymore. It's not
He's
early
he's on
anymore.
pace for less than 20 home runs this season.
And I
That's
know
not
that's not going to be the case. He probably winds up ending the season at 28 or something like that, which is
not if
still a
we bench him for a
disappointment. But
month.
like, I mean, maybe he does need to go on the IL though. I don't know what the problem is, and if it is an injury related thing, Adam, I truly do think it's just straight up malpractice by this organization not forcing him to the IL. I don't get what they're doing. If it is actually a hip and a shoulder problem, just get the guy right. Like
Yeah.
you do have options in AAA that are lighting the world on fire, right? Like honestly, man, I know that Alan Roden has already been given an opportunity, but look at what Addison Barger did on his second call up, right? He looked so much more confident, so much better. Roden is hitting almost 400 with power, with stealing bases and an OPS over 1,000. Try it again.
So I was watching a Red Sox take um, this morning before we hit record about is it time for the Red Sox to change this from a competitive season into a developmental season now that they've lost Bregman as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, hilarious to me
Yeah.
that they lost Cassis. Devers won't play first. They've lost Bregman. Devers won't
Devers
play
won't play
third.
third. Yeah.
I fucking love it. I love it so much. Oh, I'm a, for so many reasons. I love it. Um, but the point they were making was with the loss of Bregman and then the loss of Cassis at first. And then the other guy interjects and says, well, Bregman was an actual loss because he was contributing in a meaningful way. Cassis at first, not really a loss because he wasn't producing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the numbers of Cassis and you're like, oh, those are better than Anthony Santander. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, yeah, sit him down. Like
Yeah.
it's not a step back. It's not a, like he's just been so bad that like to pull him out of the lineup is like
No.
we're not we're man, we're not taking any risks by doing that.
Especially if he's borderline injured.
Yeah.
Truly, if he's borderline hurting, just do it. Just shut him down, even for a few days, and see how he's feeling. You can always, if he's still not feeling great, you can always retroactively put him on the IL. All
Yep.
right, we're getting long in the tooth here. We're going to wrap up as I don't have a ton of time here. We're going to just quickly go over some Jays notes. These are from Ben Nicholson Smith. Bo Bichette doing much better. Obviously, we watched him come off the bench a couple days ago with that dinger. And then yesterday looked great, hitting another home run. Ryan Burr had an injection in his shoulder. He was shut down. He was on rehab there. They're shutting him back down for a little bit. Ryan Burr, obviously, would be a boon to this bullpen when he's healthy. Speaking of the bullpen, Eric Swanson pitched yesterday in Buffalo. He threw 15 pitches, a scoreless inning. He's getting very close to coming back to the Jays probably next week, is BNS's thought. And then last but not least, Tyler Heineman, the Magic Man. Obviously, he's on concussion protocol right now. That's why
Hmm.
they've got Ali Sanchez up. But it does look that like he could be activated as soon as this weekend. We could see him back behind the dish by Saturday, which is good news, being he leads the team in batting average, as hilarious as it is.
Well,
All right, we're going to wrap it up. A's, Jays. The Jays have one win in that series. This is a four-gamer. They've got three left over the weekend here. Today, tomorrow at 3, and then Sunday at 1:30. Go Jays, go. Thank you all
hey,
very much. Go ahead, bud.
our three big offseason acquisitions,
Hmm.
Jimenez, Scherzer, Santander. Guess what the combined WAR is on those three guys?
Oh, God. Don't tell me it's negative.
It's negative 0.5.
Oh, my God.
Is that addition by subtraction? I know I always get that
Yeah.
one mixed up.
Yeah. What?
It's
I
so
can't wait.
bad.
I can't wait until we get to talk about positive regression next year. Yeah.
Oh, nice to see you, buddy.
Oh, always a pleasure. Thank
Enjoy
you,
your
Grounds
weekend.
Crew, for following along. Obviously, we've got trivia coming up. If you're a Blue Jays know-it-all, this is your wheelhouse here. Baseball Town Trivia Club at Left Field Brewing, all Blue Jays trivia, and it is everything from the start of the franchise, but it is 2015 on focus. So like 75% is more the last 10 years, and then 25 is kind of the history of the team. But it's a lot of fun. It's only $10 a person. Bring your team out, win yourselves a big team jug and a big free appetizer and free beer, and oh yeah, we got all sorts of prizes. All right, folks. Later.